Hey guys, this is V Man from No Budget Productions, and this is my good friend Pixie. Pixie, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, finer than frog hair, my friend. So tonight we have a very special show. It's not something that I have been able to do for the past couple months. As those of you who've been watching the channel have known that my internet has been kind of crappy while I'm at work. Not been the best reception that I've had. Sometimes you guys have sounded like a robot to me. Sometimes I have returned the favor and sounded like a robot to you guys. I now have a brand new phone. The old phone is now kaput. It's going to be sent back on its way. But that phone helped me get through 108 fan films. So I
Wow.
kind of did my own Spock funeral for it, shipped it off to the Genesis planet, and now I've got a brand new phone. It's kind of weird to have a phone that actually works. I can now watch my CBS All Access or Paramount Plus as it is now. Cheap plug in case Paramount wants to ship me a couple of bucks. Who am I kidding? They don't know I exist. But it's kind of nice. Hello, CJ2. How are we doing, my friend? Hope all is well with you in the world today. Hope everyone in your world's being safe. But it's kind of nice. I can watch. I can watch the news. I can watch, the streaming shows that I like to do as I'm doing my paperwork here at work, and I can do these wonderful shows while I'm on break with Pixie. Now, Pixie, this is the second time you've agreed to come on the show. The first time, it was kind of the red alert moment. I canceled at the last minute because I simply didn't have access to doing this. So you kind of got everybody jazzed up, and then I let them down. So I want to say first off, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Um, Now you are new to, like you said before the show, not just not Star Trek, but you're new to the fan films. To those that don't know who you are, why don't you go ahead and explain exactly who you are in the fan film world now?
So I play a character known as Michaela Allenby in Avalon Universe, which is directed by Josh Irwin, and um, will be coming out with a new film on October 31st, which features my character. And then outside of that, there's some other projects we're working on, of course, where I'll get to be Allenby, but in other contexts without
Right.
telling too much.
Buttoned lip there, not telling too much. I like it. I like it. So you're new to the Avalon universe, new to the fan film world, and you've gotten to do something that most people haven't been able to do. Not only go to Star Trek Las Vegas, but actually speak on panel at Star Trek Las Vegas. Um, Before we delve into what it was like speaking on panel, let's delve into what it was like being at Star Trek Las Vegas. How did that actually come about? What was the genesis of that? Because I mean, you don't just go from, man, I'm going to be in a fan film to oh shoot, let's go to Star Trek Las Vegas. What was the genesis of that? How did you step into that world?
So it's more of a maze than a line, of course, So it starts out with I'm gaffing for Cosmic Stream, which is another Avalon Universe production, and doing some lighting stuff. And then it turns into I'm helping on a couple of other sets and a couple of other productions. And then fast forward to Josh basically gives me a call and says, I want you to be the lead in this next production. And then we put our heart and soul into it and went through a lot of a lot of different challenges, both physical and mental, and um, it was a great team effort. And then I guess somewhere between Josh and you and Alec, essentially, um, there's an invitation from Creative Entertainment. Is that correct? for Avalon to come on and be
Yeah,
on the panel, and
yeah,
that was I won't get into that till you do, but it was just
yeah. I
the
think
yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, I think that had that give credit where credit's due. That has more to do with Alec than me. Um, Alec Alec was the brains behind getting everybody involved that was at least on my front. He had invited me. I know he invited Josh. So I wish I could take credit for seeing you there. I don't have any part of that. So that was as far as I'm concerned, that was more Alec and Josh. Um, but I know for all the naysayers who gave Alec crap, if it wasn't for him, I don't think any of us would have been there. Um, you know,
True. They had the
yeah,
booth there and everything, and they said that
yeah,
we should be there, and we
yeah,
were
and they were,
there.
yeah, and they were very open for us sharing our fan film. You know, and we were representing our films, but we were able to be there, kind of using their booth as kind of a home quarters. Putting our jackets there, our stuff there, and
Yeah.
then venturing out. So CJ2 says fan films are awesome. Love the creativity by filmmakers such as V-Man himself. And that's thank you very much, CJ. I appreciate it. Josh is one of the guys who he says I influence him, but I think it's right back at him. He influences me. I was watching uh, the scene you have actually with without spoiling it. It's a group scene with you, Chakande, and the engineer character. I forget her name.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a great scene. I discussed it with Josh a couple weeks ago when he was on, and it's a scene. Honestly, like I get discouraged a lot with fan films. I get discouraged. It's easy to get burnt out. But that scene, listening to you guys discuss, of course, my character gets brought up, and I'm like, yay!
Okay. Yeah, I know what
It's
you're talking about. All right.
it's I love stuff like that where we it's a family, and I have to say, Pixi, I can't wait to work with you in person. Same thing with the other characters, and I cannot wait, based on everything that I've seen coming from you guys, I cannot wait to get to work with you guys. So CJ, thank you for the compliment for me, but when I look at creative people like Josh and actresses such as Pixi and creative people like Pixi, they are talented in so many ways, and I love being a part of the Avalon universe, and the fan film world. It's such a great the camaraderie.
I will say, yeah, like that's one thing about the fan film community that I didn't realize is how connected everyone really was and how aware everyone was. Of who's doing what and who's releasing what and who's crowdfunding for what. Like everyone's very, very aware, but there's also, like you said, that camaraderie of, yeah, let's share these characters, or like let's keep working with this actor, or let's do a crossover, or let's what have you.
Yeah,
I like
they're very welcoming. Yeah, yeah. It. Well, I mean, and I know I'm known to say I've been known to say that plenty of times, but when I first started this, it was very much everyone was kind of elbowing each other. No, it's my fan film. No, it's my fan film. No, it's mine. And now it's very much like the landscape has changed, where we're all. It's very inclusive, and I fucking dig it. It's great.
Yeah.
Because we're all just trying to see each other succeed. Because it's like if you succeed, I succeed, and Josh succeeds, and George succeeds, and we all win together. Frank succeeds.
We all raise
like,
the bar, then our reputation
exactly.
as a whole is
Yeah,
lifted, and it just challenges everyone to work a little bit harder, a little more creatively, or a little bit more resourcefully, or what have you. We all have our gifts and our
well, and
answer
and
there.
it's Well, and it's like that sandbox, it's like we all have our own section of the sandbox, but it's like if I see, oh man, you're making a really cool castle. Can I get a scoop of sand? And you're like, oh, here you go, take my bucket,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful to be able to do that, whereas like I said, when I first started, it was very much like, no, it's my sandbox, and we're all fighting over that, and it's like, oh man, and it's terrible. Jim Landscape says, hello, Commodore Boone is here. Well, hello, good old Commodore Boone. Welcome to the show tonight. William Wells says, hi, guys. Well, hey, Bill, how are we doing, my friend? Welcome. I'm glad to have you here tonight, my friend.
Captain Bill to you.
So you got to be there. You were at the Axonar booth quite a bit of the time, and you were representing Avalon. You were, as Josh says on his chat with me, Steve Atwell says, I'm not too late, am I? No, actually, we just started 10 minutes ago, Steve. You're right on time, my friend. We just got talking. We're only 11 minutes in. You're good to go. STE says, USS Eagle reporting in. Welcome, my friend. We're glad to have you here. Ian says, hello, Vance and Pixi. Just dropped by to say hello and to say Pixi is an awesome actress as I'm headed off to bed.
Night.
Ian. Good night, Ian. I'm glad to have you stop by, my friend. Sweet dreams, and we'll catch you on the rewind, my friend. We hope to have something interesting. I'll try not to yak too much. I'll try to let Pixi do some talking here. So you have a good night, my friend, and as always, keep on geeking on, brother. So, as Josh said, you were kind of a force to be reckoned with. He was like, I really didn't need to do much. She was knocking it out of the park for the whole Avalon. What was it like really just representing everything? Because you were always smiling. You never had a frown. And the thing about it, for me at least, I was like, man, this person is legit happy. What was it like representing Avalon to everybody there?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I was really happy. First of all, it was my first true convention that I could actually remember. I talked to my dad later and he was like, yeah, we went when you were really little, but like you wouldn't remember, It's like my first concert was Bob Dylan, but I wouldn't remember, It's like two.
Right.
So I was overstimulated. I was excited. Everything was cool. I was a little disappointed, but kind of I expected it. There were some folks missing from the con that I wanted to see, but it's okay. I think if there were too many people there, I would have been like, this is too much because it was so epic.
Right.
I
Right.
did kind of like Axonar booth was like my base camp for sure. They're very kind and let me leave my backpack and a projector and swag that I picked up while going around handing out these. I had like 80 of these little flyers, these little, like, I don't know, 4x4, maybe 3.5 by 3.5 flyers, little squares. And essentially, I was just like, if I can just get some people to come see our preview, I know that they'll like it. And
right.
That was my goal, was just to make sure that I met as many people as possible, had fun doing it, went to as many booths as possible, saw as many things as possible, even if I couldn't buy it. Like, there were some really, really, really cool. Oh, hey, Captain Baxley. There are a lot of really cool, like, signatures, like this framed artwork that was like very pricey, but very, very cool, because it would be like the entire cast had signed in gold, or the entire cast had signed in silver. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I am humbled, or like, original things. Like, someone had, there was a personal collector who's very kind, and he had 3 originals 1977 McDonald's Happy Meal boxes.
I remember that, and that trip. Like, the thing I love most about the motion picture, were the look of the Klingons. They had a very distinct look to them.
Yes.
They had weird, like they had weird haircuts. They had weird forehead ridges. Like they just looked distinctly different than the Star Trek 3 Klingons and what would eventually be like the DS9 looking type Klingon. Like they just looked very visually odd, and I loved how they were on the Happy Meals. I want to get one of those little action figures they had, because they looked cool.
I have his card.
I remember that. Do you? Oh, dude, I do. I want the dudes. Right on. But that was first off. I didn't welcome Captain Baxley. You beat me to the punch. See that's you, man. Like you're beating like everyone to the punch. Like you need to be my co-host because you need to take my job. Everybody in October you're going to see Pizza Roll Diaries with Pixi. That's going to be the you're going to take my job.
I mean, I looked at pizza like right there.
There you go.
I already ate some.
Right on.
1979 Meals with weird toys. Yeah, that's crazy.
They were weird. They were, which is funny because like
the nobody of the plastic.
Nobody like it's so funny because like nobody liked the movie, but like they had Happy Meal toys. It's like what was that?
They just forced it through. I don't think they expected it to catch on, and they were just like trying to explain to this factory, no, you need to make these aliens, and they look like this, and they're like, what? We're engineers. What? No.
I think they were trying. I think they were trying to piggyback on the success of Star Wars, and they were hoping this is going to be our Star Wars. So if we it's got the term star in it. Let's try to piggyback off that. And
it's what the kids want.
Yeah. But I given the fact that you beat me to the punch on Captain Baxley, I think that shows exactly your determination on I got to hit everybody in the center here, because you literally, I would say, you spoke with most everybody there about Avalon. If you did not know Avalon existed, you certainly did. You certainly did, and at by the end of that, in fact, Steve Atwell, he does play our resident Klingon, Korath, in the films that I do. He is known, and he cosplays as Klingon. He's in the fan films as Klingon. He is our residential Klingon. William Wells says, I still have the glasses from Taco Bell for Wrath of Khan. Dude, Bill, you've got to send me a picture of those glasses. I didn't even know they had Wrath of Khan glasses from Taco Bell. See, that's how much of a poor Trekkie I am. I have uniforms, and I know nothing else besides that. You are beating me on the geek card, Bill, so you've got to send me those pictures, because I did not know they had those.
Another thing that Collector had were these sew-on patches from Wrath of Khan, and I found an Ilea glitter patch that had not been opened at all.
Wow.
Original.
And that's another thing. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate. Congrats on a successful Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is one thing that looking at the person next to the Axonar booth, he was the musician for Motion Picture, I believe.
Alan Howard.
Was it Motion? Yes.
He was the sound designer. And for Back to the Future and a lot of horror movies, actually. He has a wide genre.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that impressed me most is you see a lot of things that you never knew that you wanted to know. Because I saw a bunch of stuff that I'm like, what is all of this? And it's just, you could literally sit there for hours, no agenda, and just get lost.
I got lost many times. It was wonderful.
Oh, yes.
I was like, this again. Yay.
Yeah. And it's kind of like watching. Are you a fan of The Office, the show The Office?
Yeah, up to a certain point. I have my own theories about Jim, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, I think that's a whole other show. We need to have.
That's a whole other conversation.
I have watched the show from beginning to end several times. It's one of my favorite shows. In fact, it is my favorite show. I prefer that above Star Trek, contrary to now losing my geek card completely. I do like it because I'm bipolar,
text
so
on you.
well, I'm bipolar, so when I go into my moods, I tend to just get lost in the office, and it kind of picks me up. I kind of just lose myself in the stupidity of the situations and the funniness of the characters. But one thing, and this was maybe my 12th time watching it or 10th time watching it, but I watched Michael Scott, and he was he was talking, I forget who he was talking to, but they were in the kitchen, and he's talking to them, and he's holding a can of diet soda, but he's pouring sugar into the can of diet soda, and I had never noticed that before. And it's the things that you, when you're watching it and you never pick up on it, and it can be like your 10th time
That
watching it and you pick
tiny
up on it.
genius, like situational comedy.
Yes.
That's true situational comedy. That's something I
Yeah.
love about Rick and Morty is if you go back and watch it, and you already know what the crap is going on. Because first
Yeah.
of all, you have to like really pay attention because it goes fast. It's one of those kinds
Right.
of keep up with it kind of thing. If you go back and watch things again, like there's things like when Rick opens a door, like the refrigerator door, and there's like stuff in there. You're like, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And then he closes it, or like Beth will say something like, "Oh, don't drink any of the milk. I need to use it for cupcakes or something." And he's like, "Sure thing," and then he like drinks it and then puts it back in there. Like little things like that that are like,
Yeah.
okay, that took
Yeah.
planning.
Yeah. You don't notice, but then when you do notice, you stop, and you're just like, oh man, I can't believe. And that's how I felt at this convention. I feel as if I could go through it 10 times, and even on that 11th time, I could still find something that I'm amazed by.
One
Just
day
like when I
was
watch The
not
Office, I'm still
enough.
amazed every time I watch it.
I was like
What's that?
I was only there for one day, and it was not enough. I like ran through 10 Forward. I ran through the art gallery, at least saw Spock's photography, which was amazing. I filmed most of the Majel Barrett and Gene Roddenberry like wall, not the story, but the wall,
Yes.
like the installation
Hmm.
leading up to that where we could film, and of course the bridge.
Yeah.
Season 1
Yeah.
Discovery. Yeah.
They had so much. Yeah, Colin says season 1 of Discovery was like that. It only made sense when watched for the second time. That's ironic because I a couple of weeks ago I started watching The Walking Dead, and I got about up to season 4, and then I was like, well, that's enough depression for a little bit. Let me watch something else. I started watching Discovery over again, and I'm up to season 3 now, and I'm picking up a lot of things that the first time through
Yeah,
I
the little
didn't notice.
threads.
Watching it. Yeah, and I'm enjoying it a lot more the second go through than I did the first time. Because watching it week by week, you're just kind of like, okay, I'll continue next week. But when you're binge watching it and you're kind of like, this is a lot more enjoyable. But yeah, going through all those things there, all the action figures, the micro machines, the ships, the clothing, and the people. I tell
Yeah.
you, the people, the
The
costumes.
props, the costumes, yes.
Yeah.
The prop
Hmm.
like mile, as I called it. I was like, I don't have enough money to walk down here and accidentally clumsily knock something off. Like there was like 3D chess. There was like there were like all the phasers you can imagine, and just heavy,
Yeah.
well done, well made, like tricorders of every era, model ships, of course, for everything,
Oh yeah.
everything. Um, I
I,
bought
I
a random magazine that was like talking about, is Detective Data the best detective ever? And I'm like, well, duh, Us Weekly. But I bought it because I thought that Brent Spiner was there and I was going to have him sign it. And I'm like, I need you to answer this very important question. And then like show it to him. but alas, alack, he wasn't there.
I tell you the one I tell you the one person that really struck out for me, and it was John Tessler says, "Hey Pixi, hey Vance." Well, hey John, long time no see, John. How we doing, buddy?
John was there.
John was there. He was with us most of the time. I tell you, the one person that really and they struck a chord with me every time I saw them. I was like, man, that is someone that is the coolest person here. It was the person that played the green person, or the character they were cosplaying as. It was the green person from Lower Decks. I'm terrible with names.
The Orion girl. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I still can't remember her name.
If anybody in the chat knows the name of the green person,
please
from
help.
Yes.
Help
us. Yeah. Yes. John says still recovering from Vegas, both physically and financially. I completely understand that, my friend. I completely get that.
I had to go right to working at the pool. It was too much.
Tendy. Okay. Colin says Tendy.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
10 points awarded to the House of Barrett. The Orion girl. Thank you.
Well, 5 for you for saying House of Barrett. I would never see your see this. This is why you're going to be taking the Pizza Roll Diaries here in October. That's I would never come up with something as cool as House of Barrett. See, I'm losing my geek cred. See, Bill has these glasses from Star Trek. You say House of Barrett.
The moment you said The Office was better than Star Trek, I questioned why.
Downhill from there.
Around these parts, I don't know.
Shit, that's man. So, but I was behind her because the first time in line, I stood there because Drew, my boss from work, he went with me. For those of you at home that don't know, he was with me, but he needed to go print out the ticket because it was the first day we didn't know anything about it. So I stood there in line. He went up front to go see if he could print it off there. But I saw this cosplayer cosplaying as her. And the thing about her costume, because I have bought most of the costumes, I've bought them. And when I saw her costume, I could tell right off the bat, this is homemade. This isn't one of the ones you buy. This is
an OG cosplay.
Yes, and whenever someone does that, I always tend to take a little bit more care into looking at the costume, because those are the ones that it's not just somebody who puts on something that's store bought. This is something that if you've taken the time to handcraft something, those are the people that usually care a little bit more. Because,
I know who you're talking about. She was a little bit taller and slimmer, and it was like and it was very clearly custom because she was it fit well. It's not like she just like bought some Halloween costume and had it pinned or tailored. Like no, she made that, and that's like some OG costumery.
Yeah, it's not like me when I put on my next gen costume and like the bottom of it goes down to like my knees and I'm like, oh shit. And it's more like I'm wearing like a next generation pajamas, I'm about to have a slumber party, like hers fit great, and then later on I think it was like the next day she was still in that costume, and I actually spoke with her. Got the information, asked if she wanted to be in a fan film. She said she'd be open to the idea, but she was very cool about it. I got to, we all got to look at the costume, and those are the type of connections that, it's very cool going to Comic-Cons and meeting people that have those type of passions, that you just never get to meet normally, and I really appreciate people like that, that have that passion. William Will says, makes me wonder if Noel Wells is my cousin. I don't understand. No. Oh, okay. Noel Wells is the voice actress. Okay, that's what I'm losing. Okay, I had to backcheck there. See, I'm off my game there.
Another 10 points to House of Barrett. He's at 20. Just
I,
keeping score at
there
home.
you go.
Chime in
There
when
you go.
you
I
know
feel like
something no one else does.
there you go. There you go. So going down to all the stuff, what was your favorite thing that you saw while you were there?
Denise Crosby.
Bottoms line. She was very cool. She
She's a
was very
person.
cool.
Yes, and it was amazing. And she's very tall and very kind. And she was kind with her time. And she was very, like, they say never meet your heroes, but you should meet some of them because she was really nice and that was really cool. And I'm not going to cry about it, but I could. Like, I'm glad there were fewer TNG people than expected because I think I would have been a hot mess. Like, I could barely keep it together for Garrett Wang. Like, he can confirm in a tweet, Garrett, tell him I was a mess. I couldn't put, like, I didn't know where to put my purse. I was like, oh, it's selfie time. Like a sim tried to put my purse on the ground and he was like, no, 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 put it on the table. And I'm like, oh, I'm a human? Yeah, okay. Like, sorry, Ensign. I mean, Garrett. I mean, Mr. Wang. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
I'm sure he probably remembers it fondly because I mean, come on.
He definitely laughed. He definitely laughed.
See, your experience with Garrett is better than my experience with Josh and Garrett. Like we
Because you guys
stalked the
make
guy.
fun of him. Like, I was embarrassed. I had like a little teenage crush on him. Like, sorry, Picard. Sorry.
What are you talking about? Make fun of him? That wasn't making. That's hero worship. What are you talking about? Make fun of
hero worship to call him a forever ensign. You know he would have. You know he would have ranked up. He's a good ensign.
He owns that rank.
Moved on.
See, the only what I love about that is like we're like 20 feet from the guy. Well, not, it's more like 10 because we started off 20 feet and then we're like etching our way closer.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, he like noticed us. Like I swear he noticed us, but like couldn't say anything because there's like a crowd of people in front of him, and we're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna do this anyway." And we're still getting pictures because like the whole time I'm like, I can screen cap this video, so we're just gonna record the whole thing, and we're like getting him in the picture, like yes, yes. Nothing beats getting security called on us for this picture. This is worth it. But then like 2 days later, he's like running by, he's like, and I'm like, oh, hey, can I get a picture with you? He's like, sure. And I'm like, shit, where's Josh? If I can only get Josh in this picture, like that would have been icing on the cake. Because like this guy has been the butt of so many of our jokes, and not in a bad way. Like nobody send like.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wang.
There's going to be like this.
I waited in a line for like a good 10, 15 minutes, had a normal human conversation with the person right in front of me and the two people around. And then all of a sudden, Garrett just turns his visual cue and I'm just like, oh my God. It's time to take a picture. Like I fell apart.
So William Wells. So if I known you were that. William Wells says he is an admiral in Star Trek Online, Vance. Well, yeah, but Bill, little do you know that I have a 32nd Century Star Trek Discovery 4th season costume, and he's still an ensign in that film that's coming out. So, I won't say why.
House of Wells.
Shenanigans, I call it shenanigans. So if I had known that you were that,
more points for shenaniganery.
I have no geek credit at this point. Oh, fuck it, I don't care. It's all good. It's all
you
good.
You can earn it. He's giving out points.
I don't care. It's all good. It's all good. Like if I had known that you were that, like if I had known that you were losing your way, to put it mildly, I would have just given you. I would have given you one of my pips and be like, here, give this to him. And therefore, at least you have an icebreaker. How cool would that have been? Here, have one of my pips, sir. You know,
he might
that.
have touched my hand, and that would have been too much. Like, he like hugged me on the side closely, and it felt like a good hug. It was a good hug. It was
And
proper.
see that. That's that's a shared. I feel bad for laughing, but I feel like that's a shared moment. That is epic. See, that's the type of stuff you go to comic conventions and you have a shared moment with someone like not only Denise Crosby, but Garrett Wang.
That was really cool.
Like that's the type of stuff.
I have many pictures of him hugging me. If no one believes me, I have a lot of them. I just haven't posted them yet because I'm bad at that on Facebook, but you should follow me on Facebook.
See, this is where I feel. I feel like the caption underneath the picture should be, this is 3 seconds before he yelled security. See, that's. Yeah.
It's like, can you believe that hot mess?
See, the only cool stories I have is one time I was with John Delancey in the bathroom at TopCon, and he ran out of paper towels, and I was like, "Oh, you can't just snap your fingers for more?" And he was like, "Don't be a smartass." And I was like, "Oh shit, damn it, Q hates me." So as I'm walking out of the bathroom, I take a selfie with him behind me. I know, and like I take a picture with him behind me, and I run off to Mona. I'm like, "Hey, Mona, Q hates me," you know, and you're like, that's the only story I gotta tell, you know. So yeah, that's you got to hug with Ensign Kim, and I got
Admiral Kim.
Don't fluff Bill's story up. Shenanigans.
I don't want to break the Prime Directive, but let's be clear here. We know he's going to be an admiral, and we can pay our due respects now.
Shenanigans. I'm taking my pit back. I'm taking it,
taking a cruise with him, and I'm going to tell on you. Like, Admiral Kim, this is what had happened. I was not proud of it. I did protest.
If you think you can get around Ensign Kim with Josh, I think we're going to be losing our next Avalon star in the following sequel to your next film. Yeah, hey, run that risk. I wash my hands of it. That's going to be your character's dying words. Admiral. What the hell is that about?
He was an admiral.
as your particles are scattered through the universe.
And then I take a pip off and hold it out.
So Keely Chow says, "Hey everybody, what's going on?" Keely, I feel like you are watching two people lose their minds over rank.
It's a little bit important for some people.
More important for others. So that in mind, you got to meet two of Star Trek's most beloved. You got to see some really cool, funky stuff in the different eras, genres, nostalgia, and then, like we said, you got to go do something that nobody. Well, most, I'd say 99.9999% of people, virtually nobody has done. And I say that without ego. Because honestly, Josh had to kind of put that in perspective for me. We are Star Trek actors, and we have done what those actors have done, which is speak on stage at Star Trek Las Vegas. That is our moment of credibility, regardless of whether people see us as legit or not. Like that does solidify we are, because that is something that nobody gets to do. I mean, we do get to play on the bridge, we do get to play on sets, but when you're on Star Trek Las Vegas, that is something nobody gets to do. Let's go before we actually get on stage. we're backstage. They're playing the Avalon film, and it's you, me, Crystal, and Josh. What was running through your head?
Don't drop the triple. Um, I was very scared I was going to drop the triple, and then everyone would hear the triple backstage. So I gently set those aside. And then it was mostly like, I don't know. I guess it was just like trying to calm my nerves. So, like, preferably nothing, but like, I didn't exactly know what was going to be shown. Of course, I didn't know what the questions were going to be. Like, it was just, I don't know. I was just trying to be like positive, and it was my first convention and also my first fan film panel and also my first fan film that I was in. So like there was a lot of firsts going on. So I was
Right.
just like, I'm just gonna give it my best and like answer truthfully and honestly and like, just we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
And when I heard like so we're backstage, so I can't see how many people are really there or who are like stuck around from the previous thing. And but I can hear them when they play Cosmic Stream, and I'm like, oh wow, there's like a number of people out there. And then we go out there, and yeah, I was like, this is cool. And that's when it dawned on me, like what Josh had said, where it was like, there were a bunch of other Star Trek actors on this stage every year for the convention, and now you're one of them. And I was like, oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he's one of those
That's
people
crazy.
who,
Like it really was crazy.
yeah, he's one of those people who, he can help put things in perspective. When oh, Bill says, "Love your headset, Pixie." I agree. I agree. Um, Josh really had a way of putting things in perspective. He had to do that quite a few times for me. I know a lot of times I'm pretty hard on myself. Um,
Our
having have
worst critics.
Yeah, yeah, we really are. Having I think a lot of times you have to be, to get a better product out. You have to look at things, critically, and sometimes we can be a little harsh. But in that moment, I think we needed someone like Josh to kind of to bring us back to the reality of what we were doing, and do it with a little bit more of a smile, and for me it was there was a lot of humility in what he said. And I love taking the picture with all of us because it was a moment to kind of
That was a
capture.
great picture. Yeah.
I Yeah, I agree. I agree. I really wanted. I'm a big guy. I'm a guy that loves to capture moments. Um,
I think we know that.
bless your heart. Um, so at this moment, we are we're on stage, and
Yeah.
it's you, Crystal, me, and Josh.
And Scott.
Um, yes, and Scott Mance, which I sadly my ignorance overshadows my knowledge. I had no idea who he was.
Always do your research, my friend.
Yeah, see I didn't know until like the previous week, and people were messaging me. They were like, "Dude, Scott Mance is going to be interviewing you." I'm like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is that?
Yeah, never in my wildest dreams did I think that was like going to be my debut film critic interviewer. I was like, I'm sorry. What? These are
Yeah,
strange times we live in, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Like, all right.
yeah. I was like,
He
who's
was
that?
so great. He was so great.
Oh, he was
Thoughtful.
wonderful, enthusiastic. You know,
Energetic for sure.
yeah.
Especially after a long day.
Yes.
I appreciate
So
it.
what was it like, in front of the crowd with your series of films, your knowledge, your placement on what you're accomplishing, because you have become a force behind Avalon. Um, what was it like doing all of that in that moment?
So everything leading up to it was like a rush of I have to experience this before it's time for that moment. And of course, we're backstage for like 20-ish minutes. I'm not really sure, but it felt like a little while. Um, and so I knew it was like the end of my marathon. That's all I had to do that day, like as far as work. I just had to make sure to do my part and then show up and then answer questions from a very famous film critic that I'm on the stage with somehow. And it was it was exciting because he asked poignant questions, I think, and he gave us how do I put this? He gave not he not he didn't softball questions, but he gave us questions that um were open ended enough for each of us to speak to our own experience, and he let each person have their own time to jump in organically, which I appreciated.
I think that was the one thing that he gave everybody on the stage a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Um, he had a curiosity, because this is the first time you talk about firsts, and this was the first time that he had ever talked to anybody on fan films.
Yeah.
Like he's
He said,
done,
"This is the first for me,"
you know
and I was like, "Oh, cool."
yeah, he had talked with, what a lot of people don't realize, and Josh and I had a conversation, oh hell, maybe a couple weeks before this whole thing, because I still wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to go to this.
Mm.
And that was one of the things that him and I had talked about was, this is the first time that has been done at at Star Trek Las Vegas,
Mhm.
and it had never been done before. So to have someone uh, like Scott be that genuinely interested,
Yeah.
and not just, because you can tell when someone's kind of blowing smoke up your ass, and just kind of, fake pleasantries, and
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I
why I didn't
have to
wanna
do
say
this.
softball. It wasn't at all like
Yeah.
a softball interview. It was he asked some really thought-provoking questions, like, he asked Crystal, like, "How did you what's your connection to this next script?" And she was very honest, and it was very deep personal meaning to her that I kind of knew, but I didn't know until he asked it the way he did. And
Yeah.
it's just all of it was really cool. It was just really cool. And to have
Well,
questions from the audience too, like, and hearing the audible gasps, like they saw, like they're like, oh, ooh. Like it was genuine. It was
right.
actual genuine, like guttural, ooh, oh.
Well, you had people there. Like the thing I enjoyed most was because I had interviewed the day before, and it
Right.
was kind of cut. I because I don't I think they kind of got their wires crossed, because I was supposed to interview for an hour with him,
Okay.
and it was only a half hour, and then it was like, okay, let's open up to the audience, and then he kind of ran off, and I was like, oh shit, so I was left there by myself, and I was like, oh, and so like I had some people come up to me, but it was kind of like, okay. So when he saw me the second day, he was like, "Oh, you're back." And then he got to ask some questions. Like, well, I'm glad you're back, because I was gonna ask you this yesterday. You
Mm,
know.
okay.
Um. So I was glad. The thing that I really enjoyed about interviewing with him, and I can see why he's so good at his job, is he actually listens to the people. And he processes what you say. It's not just, okay, I've got my list of questions, I'm going to get through these and then I'll let you go. Like, he actually processes what you're saying, and his next questions is formed based on what you're answering.
Yeah, he might probe deeper into
And
that,
he
or
thinks
he'll say,
about
"What do you mean by this?" Talk to, or speak to that a little bit
yeah,
more. I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
wow, okay, Barbara, let's go." No,
yeah,
it was really good. It was a great experience. I will say that, like,
yeah.
top to bottom, 10 out of 10. Would do again. It was amazing. I wish I had gotten to go to the one that was here recently. Can't even remember where it was. I think it was Chicago. I
Mhm.
don't know. That's bad. Okay, minus 5 points from House of Nereid.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting. We're getting the gap is getting closer.
You're
Yes,
winning because you're
yes.
not negative. Calm down.
Yes, home field advantage. I like it.
No, but it was. I wanted to go, but it was just like I can't. I
Well,
can't
like
make
for
it. It was
well, I think
already.
so. What you're saying is there's more panels in your future. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, like if I had a little bit more planning and time ahead of time, a little, I would have a little bit more flexibility with work, and yeah,
Well, I'm hoping. My personal hope is that if they ask for us to come back, I would hope that they do. I'd love to go back next year. Take Royce with us. Take Mona. Josh, you. For us to just expand and redo this. Without the COVID threat. Let's get some
yeah,
more cosplayers. Let's make some more connections.
yeah.
Let's have another dinner like we had that last night. Because it was for me that the dinner um, that
That
was a
was like
great
the
fun
real
time.
rap meal, to be
Yeah,
honest. That's what it
yeah,
felt like. It was like being at a table with like like the director's table, like at the chef's table, but like at the director's table. And I got to just be like this little fly on the wall between directors and producers and theater runners and power couples and you name it. Like it was just that was crazy. That was
well, that's what
crazy. It
well,
was,
that's what
it
it's
was amazing.
that's what it's like. Like every time, and you'll notice this the more we film. Honestly, that's those dinners are what's worth more than the filming. Because that's what you
It's up
think
there.
back of. What's that now?
It's up there for sure.
Yeah, it's for me. That's
Top
because
three.
I've yeah. It's hold on just a second. Yeah, Colin says I think we're all looking forward to the end of the pandemic. We're another, well, but yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
And when would
Um,
that be?
Not soon enough. um, the the thing about those, and you'll find more as you film those dinners, like that's kind of like the reunions,
Yeah.
because that's when you get the gossip. So what did he say about her? And oh my goodness, I can't believe. I mean, we all do it. We all fucking do it.
And
But
then they
it's
released this trailer.
and
Can you
but that's
believe it?
but that's kind of the last goodbye before you see them the next time.
Yeah.
And it's the memory. It's the jumping off point. You know, um, like nobody remembers. It's like when you're running off the diving board. Nobody remembers the run. It's the jump. That right before you get into the water. And that's kind of the thing you do
Hmm.
when you're on those last meals. And it's the camaraderie. I mean, we all enjoy the time on set, but it's that last meal that you get. And the camaraderie and the oh man, next
Like
time we're going to do
the
this. And
cast reunion meal or like the cast farewell meal when there's like a change in theater or something. It's like
yeah,
almost like the film equivalent of that. But you're right, there is a lot of this funny, like, oh, do you know this person? Yeah, I know this person. Do you know this person? Yeah, I know this person. Like,
yes,
like
it's yes,
the longer they've been
yes,
in the business, the more like catty it kind of gets. And I'm like, y'all don't
yes.
even know. Like,
Yeah, it's exactly
it's
it's
wonderful.
it's like when it's like when the old women get together and they're like the old hens, buck 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 buck, and because we in the fan films we love our gossip, but it's such
Well, then they said this, but what I heard, the real thing was it was
yeah,
this, but they had
yes,
to say that,
the,
because of
the
the
only
thing
thing,
before. The
yeah. have
thing
you ever seen
before.
have, have you ever seen the old show Bewitched from back in the day?
Yes.
The neighbor, Mrs. Kravitz, like that. Yes, Yes, like that's we are the equivalent of Mrs. Kravitz next door, spying it. It's
What you doing over there?
yeah.
I tell you, she didn't have any jello at all. And it takes 15 minutes to set.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Now it's a pudding cake. Come here. I tell you, there's something not right about them. There's something not right about them.
That's exactly. See, we need to get that voice over the comm on an Avalon universe. That's you're doing like all the distress signals, and it's that lady's voice.
Hey, it's a red alert. Hey, you gotta do something about it.
See, that's the computer voice now. That's the computer voice now.
No, they're Romulans, I tell ya. The bird of prey. There's two of them. They come in twos.
That's the computer voice. I'm telling you, Pixie. We need to make that happen, Josh. If you're listening to this, stop what you. I like it. So that being said, I think if we're invited back, I think all can be said that we would do it again. As I think this year was successful. So Aaron says the ship would have to stay in dry dock forever. That computer voice doesn't.
I don't get any respect. I replicate and I replicate and I replicate. You want tea, I make it. You want a casserole, I make it. And you're telling me we can't float around space together forever.
I tell you, I'm going to take these sound bites, Pixie. I'm putting in my fucking film. That's
yours.
Screw Allenby being in my films. I'm taking this computer voice. That's my new fucking voice here, right there.
You said hot. I made it hot. I'm sorry it's so hot. Go to sick bay. That's not what I do here. Jeez,
so let me see up here. Let's see, where was William Wells? William Wells says talk about fan films. Okay. So, but that was a while ago. That was before we got. To be honest, that was before we got on our computer kick. So that was here.
Film is known as Agent of New Worlds. It's coming out October 31st on YouTube on Avalon Universe. There's also a crowdfunding GoFundMe. So if you just look up Avalon Universe GoFundMe, it'll pop up. And the closer we get to our goal, the closer we're to funding not just one but 3 total films. So that's the spiel. So Red Dwarf with the scene.
Captain Baxter says, change computer voice to
Jewish grandmother, don't you know?
Don't you know?
You left all the particles from the bee and the hydroponics, and then you put it together, and that's what a salad is, okay? We don't have a Neelix. We have a meat. I replicate it for everybody, all right? All right.
See, there's nothing here that I don't like. I love it all. It's good stuff. I love it. So Bill, I brought up the talk about fan films. Bill, I will let you know. Pixi is going to be on a Pizza Roll Diaries coming up in October. I believe it's mid-October is when we had it scheduled. Pixi, does that ring a bell?
Yes, October 14th or 15th, something like that. Yeah.
Let me see. I think it's.
I can see Langley's voice.
It's on the first. It's on a Monday.
I do have an H.G. Wells book back there, William. Good eyes. 10 points to House of Wells. 20 for those of you counting at home.
I think it might be the 18th, maybe.
18th. That's yeah. Okay.
Is it 18th? Because I think Tyler's on the 4th.
Before, yeah.
I think it's Tyler on the 4th, and then JP Poole on the 11th, and then 18th is you, I believe.
Is me. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah. So, because I'm booked all the way through the end of the year, every Monday at 1:00. Central. So if you want to get the goods on Avalon, and you want to get to what's going on in fan film and just in general, I have not only fan film stuff, but I'm going to be starting back up on the Pizza Roll Diaries, because I gave myself initially enough time to get Royce into school and get used to that schedule he was on. Yeah, because before he was going to school early in the mornings, and so that's why Pizza Roll Diaries was at 9 in the morning. But now he goes mid-afternoon, so that's why Pizza Roll Diaries is at 1 p.m. Central Time. So starting October 4th, that'll be the first time Pizza Roll Diaries comes back, and like I said, I'm scheduled through the end of the year. But yeah, and that'll be Tyler. What's
Donovan.
Tyler's last name? Yeah, Tyler Donovan, who plays Captain Mason of the Avalon universe. He'll be October 4th. Then we have JP Poole from Egotastic Fun Time. He'll be on October 11th. And then we have Pixi here on October 18th. And, like I said, we have somebody of interest every Monday at 1 p.m. Through the end of the year. Yeah, Colin says, excellent, something to look forward to. I hope so. Like I said, it's not always just going to be about fan films. It's always going to be something of interest. I have some CGI artists coming on. I have some music talent coming on. So I always want something a little bit different, because as you guys have seen over the past year, we always have something, a variety of things, not just one single genre. So it's always something interesting when you guys tune in. Brian says, I'm laughing so hard right now. I'm getting strange looks. Oh, Brian, I'm glad. I'm glad. That's why we're here. We're here to have a good time. And I'm glad, man. I'm glad that you're laughing. He says I'm in the student union at college. Well, it's
good that you're staying in college, because clearly the secretive life is not for you. They don't like it in the Starfleets. You got to keep a secret in the Starfleets. This diary, that diary. You don't want to know some of the personal logs I have to store.
At least you're getting good looks for that than good looks for looks for something else, Brian. So at least there's that, man. Cousin Cheeto says pink ears. Cool. Yeah. Are you playing a Catan?
No, it's me. It's Pixi.
That's Pixi.
It's me. If it's not ears, it's wings. If it's not wings, it's a mermaid tail. If it's not mermaid tail, it's a Star Trek uniform.
So and of course, cousin
31, you get out of here. You get out of here, Cheeto. Cousin Cheeto, you ain't my cuz. You ain't my cuz.
And of course, cousin Cheeto is joining us from NerdTube, which is the best YouTube that you've never heard of. I think is the slogan or catchphrase. I think I don't know if cousin Cheeto can put in their YouTube link. Shoot, I'm not sure if I can put it up there. So I don't know how to do it from StreamYards. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would show up in. Hey, cousin Cheeto, try to put your YouTube link in the chat, and we'll see if it can pop up.
They moved.
So yeah,
Brian, link that as well. Because these are the old school one before they make Razer makes them now. Where they're just regular. These actually clip on, and they're these big silicone clippy thingies. So they're like kind of hollow. This is the OG cat ears. I can't hear you if my ears aren't there. All right. See, they move. I want those. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, cousin Cheeto says he just tried He doesn't know if it showed up. Yeah, it didn't show up for me, so I'd imagine YouTube probably blocked it.
10
So
points to
I'm gonna
House of Cheeto. Anyways, we need to get that up there though.
well, I'm gonna try Cheeto. I'm gonna try to. I'll put it in the link description, so anybody who's watching this on Rewind, whenever the thing finally uploads, they'll be able to get you on there. But I'm gonna try to put you on as one of those like blue wrench thingy mabobs for the channel. I'm not the most elaborate.
Bobs.
Yeah, like it's a blue wrench thing where you can like moderate the channel or whatever. So then like they can actually put links in there or whatever. Yeah, I don't know the technical. Yeah. So we're just gonna say mabobs. So we're gonna try to make a Cheeto a mabob. So he says, "Don't make me come on the stream and defend my honor." Well,
you have no honor.
Right on. So
glory.
So that being said, Pixi, I've taken up over an hour of your time.
Wow. Cool.
That being said, we do got you coming back in a little over a month.
Yeah.
Or actually a little under a month.
Mm-hmm.
A little over a month. That being said,
chat for when Tyler's on, of course.
Yeah. Right on. What do you have real quick? What do you have coming up for? What do you have coming up for the people that want to reach out to you? If they want to follow you on social media or anything, what do you have for those people?
Yeah, so if you just find me on Facebook, Pixi Nereid is my Facebook name. You can also find me on Instagram at Mermaid Pixi, Pixi. No E needed. Pixi. Just Mermaid Pixi. It'll make a lot more sense once you add me on Instagram. My Facebook is more of my acting stuff. And coming up, we've got some crossovers that we'll be working on with 2 different groups that you are surely familiar with.
Ooh.
And then I have personally another film over in the UK with someone you might be familiar with. And then I've got producing a film, and then we'll be working on the next installment after Agent of New Worlds, which we're already in pre-planning for. So there's a lot going on. So just look forward on the Avalon Universe Facebook page, the Pixi Nereid Facebook page, of course, on your page and blogs and whatnot.
All right. Yeah. So you're staying busy and you're going to be active. And Daniel Vance says, eating Daniel. We're almost wrapping this show up. So you're gonna have to catch us on the rewind, Daniel. But thank you for coming by. So basically, what you're telling us is you're going to be with us for the long haul on not only the Avalon front, but so many fronts.
Yeah. I should be around for at least 3 years, as far as my script load in my inbox is going at this point, which I'm fine with. I'm happy to be part of it, and then I get to be in Star Trek, and there's a music video coming out pretty soon with an original song that I wrote. So keep your eyes peeled for something called Star Trek is Real.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. Now, when should we be expecting that?
It'll be on my Facebook. You just have to follow Pixi Nereid or Josh Irwin, IRWIN.
Outstanding. Well, when that comes out, we'll be sure to share that.
Yeah.
We will be sure to.
It's catchy. It's catchy. I'll say that. It's real catchy. I'm sorry for those of you who get earwigs. That's a thing. I'm sorry.
Well, I think once we hear that, I think we need to release a version with a computer voice. So,
Now you want me to sing. I make your food. I clean up your scum with the UV light. I help you out with your duonetic processes, which you mess up all the time. That's why we go to isolinear chips. I can't even with you.
Good
Now.
Lord. Good Lord. Hey, Daniel Vance, real quick, can you put the NerdTube link in the chat as well? We tried to get that done earlier because I see for anybody, Pixi Nereid's Facebook is right there.
Yeah,
you guys,
but it's not the 9 or dots. I think he did that so it would go in there.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just Pixi Nereid.
Oh, okay. Okay, so well, everybody try it out.
Quinn voice, yeah, I could do that.
So yeah, Daniel, if you could
trying to drown him. I didn't mean no harm.
That did sound like Harley Quinn. That did sound like it.
She's kind of like Chicago, like all wrapped into one villain.
Yeah, so the House of Barrett has a good thought. Like I said, a ship that's gone through a temporal distortion and a computer. See now.
I told you I didn't store the isolinear chips. You didn't store the isolinear chips. So now you've got some faulty systems.
See, if anybody remembers that short Treks one where the discovery is like 1,000 years into the future, like I think that's that you should go back through that and do the whole episode except
redub it.
Yeah. I would watch that episode now. That would be fucking great. I would watch that. Yes.
Okay, I think this is something I can do in my spare time.
You're like, fuck everyone. I'm redubbing this point.
While Agent of New Worlds is in post-production, I will go ahead and do that before pre-production of the next phase.
I love it. Okay, so Daniel... Daniel Vance put the NerdTube YouTube page up there. So you guys visit NerdTube, subscribe to their channel, friend Pixi on Facebook, follow her.
Anyone who follows me tonight or tomorrow, I'll follow you back immediately.
Awesome. So, and don't forget, we have her on October 18th, and we'll be discussing the different fan films. We'll be going a little bit more in depth on the different fan films she'll be doing. We'll actually be discussing some of her roles she'll be doing with my fan films, because I don't care about spoilers, so we can just go all in depth on that stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, because I'm a spoiler whore. I don't care, so I'm good with that.
I might be able to get something from Josh, or you might be able.
Oh, hey,
you know what I mean?
I got the Garrett Wang picture with, so I can pull anything from Josh. It's good.
I got the Admiral Wang picture, so.
Hey, no Admiral, damn it, no. So that being said, don't make me start a fight with Garrett on here, damn it.
I will defend his honor.
Don't bring back the computer voice. No, all right, we're done. All right. All right, guys.
Nice boy. Okay.
So that being said, subscribe to NerdTube, follow Pixi, friend her. Join us back in October. And everybody, with that in mind, thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys could have been anywhere. You guys chose to be with us. With that being said, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.
Bye.